Welcome to the Panthers postgame show. Kristen Balboni here with Panthers legends and my buddies, Davis and Jonathan Stewart. And guys, what a game it was. Panthers shut out the Falcons 30-0. TD, let me start with you. Just your first impressions of that blowout win.
KB, the first thing that comes to my mind is there's no place like home.
Yeah.
When you're having a struggle to start your season or you're struggling to start your season, it's always important to be able to just refocus, regroup, and that's what this team was able to do coming back home. You calm the noise, and I just saw a much more relaxed, more confident group of players playing right here at Bank of America Stadium. And, we challenged the fan base going into this game, and they showed up. They responded in a big way. So that was one of the things that I was definitely proud of, the execution from that bunch.
Yeah, right there with you, TD. It's a night and day difference on offense. When you're able to go out there and set the tone by doing what the play calling is, the play sheet, you have 25 plays probably going into a game as far as what you're planning on running. And they legit did exactly what they wanted to do. The quick passes in the beginning with Bryce, right? Getting him into his mode, and then finding T-Mac, right, for the big game. And then getting him out of the pocket rolling early. Getting him on the run, I think, is one of those things that is very underserved. I think he finds his vibe, his rhythm when he's running and filling the defense out. And also, too, it's good for the offensive line, right? It just alleviates a lot of the pressure. So they started off fast.
They sure did. Well, let's take a look back at the highlights of this game. It was a fun one, and it is going to be a fun one to relive right now as we take a look at Bank of America Stadium. Look at all that blue. Bank of America was rocking. It was loud. Falcons go down the field first, guys. They try to maximize on getting down the field, but Parker Romo wide right there.
Listen, they talked about him making all of those kicks the week before, but don't translate it. Don't carry over week to week. You got to be able to execute daily.
And speaking of executing right there, we saw the 4th and 3 to Tetaroa McMillan right there, guys.
Great play call. You know that the team is going to be in man coverage on 4th and short, so you come up with a play call that allows you to make a pick and get your receiver over. Great job by Bryce and T-Mac. And I hate seeing Alabama Bryce when he was in college playing against my Georgia Bulldogs, but I absolutely love to see him make a decision, pull the ball down, and get in the end zone on this play. Great job by Bryce Young.
That's right. That's what Stu said, getting it done with his legs here. Now, the only turnover for the Panthers in this game came right here, unfortunately. Trevor Etienne with that muffed punt, guys.
Come on, Rook.
Etienne he has to make sure he does not take the eyes off the prize, which is the ball, right? He had his eyes on 28, trying not to get hit.
But luckily for the Panthers, though, right here, Romo misses
That's
another
an
field goal.
overcorrection, KB. Last time he was wide right, now he's wide left. There's just a guy trying to correct himself, but he overcorrected.
And we see right here, Panthers taking advantage, going down the field. We saw that to T-Mac for 21 yards. But then, guys, catch, was this the catch of the game?
That catch was amazing. And a lot of people, I've never seen that before, but we saw it, right,
I've
Stu?
seen it before.
Steve Smith used to do that
with 89.
all the time. And we used to question, how can he elevate and stay in the air like that?
Yeah.
It was absolutely impressive. And then we just saw Ryan Fitzgerald with that 57-yarder career long. And then Shaw Smith-Wade, second half, pick 6 right there. I was standing right there, guys. It was incredible to watch.
Listen, that was an amazing play, Stu.
Yeah, it was a great job. All game long, they basically baited him to basically throw the check down, right? The coverage, there's nowhere to throw. And then he just goes through his routine. And Shaw Smith-Wade is there to make the interception. Because previously to that, they were there to make the tackle. They were blowing these guys up all game.
I think when you watch Michael Penix, you got to realize that this kid, this is like his 5th or 6th game starting in the NFL.
Hold on here, TD. How we doing this?
Man, listen.
We supposed to score here, fella.
Come on, Mike Jack.
Hey, get up the sideline, Mike Jack.
Listen, first, I'm going to congratulate him on coming away with the football because, he looks like he never played offense in high school. Read your block, man. Stay outside.
Don't read
near
nothing.
Sideline on the interception.
Don't read nothing. Look at the hash.
You did a great job of coming away with the ball, but you got to get that in the zone, man.
Well,
Good
speaking
job.
of getting it in the zone.
But you know what? I appreciate that by Mike Jack. He was unselfish. He said, I want the running backs to go in there and score.
That's right.
Give ourselves some time. We're gonna let the offense go down with 30 yards to go and bleed 9 plays
Hey,
and
listen,
give us some rest.
That was a great job by Rico capping that drive off on 4th and short. And great job by Coach Canales giving them an opportunity in that situation to say that, you know what, we're going to cement this thing. The defense has been playing well, and I have confidence in my guys up front that we're going to finish this in the end zone. Yeah, I mean, I watched that play, and I saw Chuba. He wanted to get that touchdown.
Yeah. Every running back wants to get
on the 1 yard line, but hats off, to the coaches to make a decision like that in that situation, knowing that you have your short yardage back that you want in a particular situation. And Rico hadn't had a ton of carries, but all of his carries were positive. And you talked about one of the runs that he had he was caught in the backfield 3 yards deep, and to see a guy get hit in the backfield early but still be able to make something a positive gain out of it, I think that really speaks volumes.
What we like in our running game, right, is always falling forward, right? And Rico Dowdle is a guy. Chuba's the same way. But to be able to have 2 of them in the backfield as an option, that's incredible. Yeah. We haven't had that in a long time where you have 2 guys will fall forward.
Since when? When's the last time we had
it? Yeah, double trouble.
I love double trouble, huh?
Shout out to D'Angelo, man.
Yes. And certainly we're going to get into all of that and a lot more, but I want to go back to the shutout, TD.
Yes.
To shut out, I mean, for both of you, but to shut out a team, that is something the Panthers have not done in 5 years. It's the first time that an NFL team has done it this season. What does that mean if you're in that locker room to say, wow, we've done something that is not something you always see?
Listen, it's a huge vote of confidence for a group that has not played particularly well to start the season. There were a lot of expectations coming in for this bunch, and we just couldn't put it all together. We've had spurts, we've had times where we got to see, the ROI that we talked about coming into this season. But for them to be able to go out and put it all together, and not against, just some kind of slouch, but this is an offense that has been productive all season long. We saw what they were able to do against Tampa. We saw what they did against the Vikings. So we knew that this Atlanta offense was capable, and they had players that were dynamic players that could make plays all over the field. But to see this bunch go out, and it didn't matter the situation. Like, that's when you know that you have things rolling as a defense, when you have the turnover by Trevor Etienne, and to be able to say, you know what, it doesn't matter. If you spot the ball, we're going to stop them wherever they get it. You got to hold them to a field goal or take the football away. And that was the mindset that I saw from this bunch, man. So I was extremely proud of them, and I hope that they carry that momentum over into this week.
Stu, as an offense, to see your defense go out there and make sure that they've got your back in all of these situations, like you said, even with something like a muffed punt where they got to get right back on the field, what kind of confidence does that inspire in you?
Oh, it gives everybody the confidence, right? And it also gives you a baseline of what you can do, right? You can go out there and win the hard games. What I loved most about this game against the Falcons, it's a division opponent. And we matched the defense's energy, the relentlessness, right? The defensive guys are going up against these guys. Make a catch, but we're going to smack you in the face.
Yes,
right.
We saw a lot of that.
And then on the offensive side of the ball, the offensive line is moving the trenches. They're moving the line of scrimmage forward, so it's making lanes easier for the running backs to hit. And when you hit the lanes, you get to the second level, and what do? You smack guys across the face. So that's the energy that I loved most about this game. 30-0, shutout opponent. That's not going to happen every time, but how you did it is what matters the most.
Here's what Dave Canales had to say about what made this defense so successful in this game. Let's take a listen.
Honestly, I think it's just time on task. It's playing 4 quarters with each other and knowing how to fit off of guys. How is Derek going to hit this, double team, and where's he going to end up at, for Boom and for Trevin. Setting edges and counting on those edges being set so that the rest of the guys know where to fit, know where to fill in on some of the runs. So I just think that's something that we'll have to continue to push this group so that we have it's the speed of communication that really what we're looking for, and that's what I felt we took a good step, a positive step in that direction defensively.
I I want to talk about the turnovers right now, guys. We saw 3. Now, granted, the last one was very, very late in the game, but it sealed it. They said, hey, guess what, Falcons? You are not going to score. We are going to take the ball away. But we saw a couple of them right there. TD, what does that mean when your guys can be opportunistic like that?
Listen, first of all, KB, that's so true what Coach talked about. Just having guys being in a position to where they can get comfortable knowing where each other are. Derrick Brown being back comfortable being in their defense and guys fitting off of him. I think that's very important for these guys to understand and know that just because the play is called, we got to be able to be confident enough in our teammates to know that they're going to do their job. Coach McDermott used to tell us all the time, be 1/11th, and things that happen great for you. But when you talk about the turnovers and what that does for this football team, it's a confidence boost, and that's what we've been talking about, being able to confidently go out, take the football away, and not only take it away, but like Sean Smith-Wade right here, putting points on the board or putting the offense in position to score points. And I think that's one of the things that you cannot ever, as a defense, take for granted. When you have those opportunities, you got to maximize them and you got to take advantage of them because they don't come often, KB. But we know that it is a huge momentum shift and a boost for a defense and a team component whenever you're able to take the football away and create extra possessions for the offense.
One of the things that really stuck out to me as well that I want to get you guys' opinion on is these young guys that stepped up.
Yes.
Let's talk about the defense first. So Nick Scorton, I thought played very well. And Stu, you know what it's like. You're a young guy. Someone gets injured. You're asked to step up, right? What does that do if you're a vet in that locker room to say, oh, look, we got a dog out there?
Yeah. It gives you hope, right, for the future because you know that this is a long season and guys are going to get banged up. They're going to get nicked up. But to have depth, that's been a huge problem for the Carolina Panthers for the last several years is depth. And to know that we're winning in the drafts and we're winning in the free agent market, getting the right guys in there that love football, that means the world to this organization. It actually sets you up to believe when you have games like you had yesterday with the 30-0 win over the Falcons, you can now intend on stacking those wins, right? We have now the confidence, not just in the guys that started, but our backups, right? But most importantly, these young guys that are going to be the future face of this franchise.
Speaking of one of those guys, TD, I want to get your thoughts on him, Lathan Ransom. I mean, first of all, we saw what Trayvon Merrick did back there. Incredible. And then you put him with a guy like Lathan Ransom, who you have been high on since the draft. He's a great player. To get to see what he is doing out there in his rookie season is pretty impressive.
It's definitely impressive. And I think one of the things that I love about this kid is his aggressive nature. His attack style of defense. And it kind of reminds me of how I played safety in college. When you come downhill, you want to be the guy that sets the tone. You can never take for granted what that does for a football team when you're able to go out and put a big hit on somebody. And it gets the offense excited, it gets the rest of the defense excited, and it just changed the overall component of the overall mindset for that entire group when you go out and you're able to play with that level of confidence. And, just having the opportunity to see this kid take advantage of the time that he gets on the field, man, it's important because, like we talked about, as we've seen in the first 2 weeks of the season, guys are going to go down. This is a tough-natured sport. It's a tough, physical, competitive nature sport. And unfortunate side of it, guys are going to get banged up. So you got to have that depth, like you just talked about, Stu, and have confidence that when guys come in, it's not going to be a huge drop-off from the starter.
And so we just talked about a defense really, really setting the tone, whether it's with the young guys or these opportunistic plays. But, Stu, this offense played a very clean game. 5 turnovers in the first 2 games by the offense. We saw the muff punt by Trevor Etienne, but this offense did not turn the ball over. What accounts for that change in what you saw in this game?
Clean football by Bryce, right? And communication with the sideline, getting the plays in and getting them ran. I think they had a plan and they executed it from the jump. And it's all about rhythm and finding, the edge, right? Because you might have a plan. Coach Skip, old running back coach for the Carolina Panthers, he used to always say the Mike Tyson quote, everybody got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. And sometimes you're going to get punched in the mouth. What are you going to do, right? And I think we did a good job of taking advantage of the short fields. with the turnovers, with the turnover on downs. We did a good job just managing what was given to us. The run game with the Zavala being there for his first game in, Cade Mays, they did a great job of just making sure that the protection was there. And when you have good protection, it's hard for you to turn the ball over. It's easier for you to make better sound decisions.
Go ahead, TD.
And that was one of the things we talked about, KB, going into this game.
Just what I was going to talk to you about. We're on the same wavelength right here.
The Atlanta Falcons had six sacks against Minnesota. And, that for that to be one of the things that we addressed coming in and how it was very important to make sure that we kept Bryce upright and protected him. With two new offensive starters on their front line, those guys did a phenomenal job. And I think, they definitely need a game ball for this game to be able to go into a situation like that. And literally on a week where Atlanta is coming in defensively with a ton of confidence, and they're feeling like, they're really salivating, feeling like they're going to come in and get after Bryce, in particular with what they saw in the first two games.
When you talk about the fourth quarter right there, the third quarter bleeding into the fourth after Mike Jack's pick, he got down to the 30 after he didn't want to score. But when you talk about a defense going to the sideline and watching your offense impose their will, running the ball down the other team's throat, that has to make you feel good on the sideline.
Oh, no question. No question. It definitely makes us feel good. It definitely gives us a new energy as we get ready to take the field, because that the offense is playing well, and we feel like for a long time around here, defensively, we set the tone. But to see the offense go out and set the tone for what's going to happen and what the fourth quarter is going to be like, I think that's very important for the overall morale of the football team. So, it was definitely exciting to see that. And when you go back to the Arizona game, I feel like overall that was when this team started to spark. You look at the second half of that game and the way that we were able to play and come back. I think that was a confidence boost for this group, and it just carried over into this week. And they went out and they executed and they played at a high level.
You're right. It's definitely picking up where they left off. And Stu, you mentioned this, the offense imposing their will. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Rico Dowdle was a big part of that. I thought this was the first game that we really got to see him and his talents. And I looked at the final numbers, 10 rushing attempts and 30 yards. Of course, there was that touchdown. I thought it was more, watching that game, because he made such an impact when he was in the game.
Yeah, because it was pivotal moments in the game, right?
Three first
we need
down
to go
runs.
pick up a first down. He has a really good ability to get, to start lateral and then to be able to plant one foot up the field and get upfield and break tackles. That's what I loved about him. There was opportunity, or there was a situation where we needed to get a first down, and he did a nice little inside shoulder on the defender and got upfield and ran over three guys for the first. And then you see this play here. This is something out of nothing. Right? This is a guy that is able to, kudos to the coaching staff for lining these guys up in the backfield, letting them hit the ball, hit the runs downfield, and finding some momentum, right? It's easier to break tackles when you're going north and south, because I'm pretty sure a linebacker or a safety that has to come up and hit you when you have a head start, they don't want to do that often.
And then we got to see Chuba. Of course, we've gone all this way and not really talked about him at all, but we got to see him do what he does best, TD, and we know that is the way that the Panthers want to play. They want to have over 100 yards on the ground. They want to have more than that. And we got to really see what this running game is supposed to look like when you don't have turnovers.
Absolutely. And I think, KB, to go back to something you just spoke on, when you look at the numbers, they don't really jump out at you, right? They don't really scream a dominant performance offensively. But I think one of the things that we have to absolutely factor in and take into consideration, our offense played with a really short field for most of the game.
Yes.
And a lot of times when you do that really speaks to the overall component of a team playing well, not just one particular group. Because defensively, our goal is to shorten the field for the offense, get them the best field position that we possibly can by playing dominant defense. Check. They did that. Have the opportunity to take the football away, score points defensively. Check. They did that. You want to hold teams to, our goal used to be under 20 points in a game, check. They did that. They didn't allow Atlanta to score. So I just really feel like we played very good complementary football yesterday, and I'm so glad that they had the opportunity to see what that looks like, so that now this is the standard.
Yeah.
This is the expectation. This is what not only the fan base, but everybody within are going to expect when you take the field, because now you've shown that you can do it. So you got to do it consistently.
And we got to mention, of course, when we talk about complimentary football and short field, Ryan Fitzgerald, too, with some of those kickoff returns. I don't know how he was getting the ball in some of those, but it felt like Atlanta couldn't get anything going in the return game.
He had some magic on that ball.
He did. He did.
It's like literally like they dropped every kickoff.
Yes.
Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like the ones that they didn't even field, they was trying to pick it up off the ground and they couldn't even pick it up. It was crazy.
There was a lot going on in the kicking. There was a lot going on in the kicking game in the NFL as a whole. So.
There was. It was a very, very wild Sunday for the kicking game, and luckily the Panthers were on the right side of that, no doubt about it. All right, these guys right here know that there is nothing better after a win than going into the locker room and celebrating with your guys. Here is what the Panthers locker room looked like after that win.
Hey, let's go! Pick a player of the game. Ryan Fitzgerald! Second longest field goal in team history. But we know what it was, though. It's field position. He was kicking some dirty kicks. Hey, let's hear it for the kickoff team one time. We got some people here, though. Sean Smith, wait for it. Mike Jack had a pick.
Hey, real quick, first one of the year. It's only right. It goes. Come on, Coach Canales. Yeah.
Hey, family on three. 1, 2, 3. Family.
Now we're going to look at some of the turnovers that happened yesterday in the game, and these were not just regular turnovers, Stu. These were humongous plays that took place in the game. As you look right now, it's 11 minutes left in the third quarter, right? And the score is still 10-0. So it's still a pretty tightly contested game, if you ask me. But what this shows me is players are not just sitting stagnant. They are not just getting comfortable with coming up, making tackles, or seeing things happen. So this tells me that this has happened. You watch Michael Penix, he's making a decision. He's going through his first, second, third read, and then he makes a decision late to come over to the flat. Look, first read, second read, and now I'm going to throw the ball late to the flat. And that's something as a quarterback that you just cannot do in this league. It's not college anymore. And you have Sean Smith-Wade coming away with the huge pick six. It's not just about taking the football away, but Coach McDermott, I talked about it all the time. He used to tell us, and you remember watching us run to the end zone scoring after we take the ball away. And that's the mindset that this team has to continue to develop. I love seeing young players make big plays because that is going to boost the confidence for him in a big way. So we see Sean Smith-Wade coming away with this touchdown on this pick six. And we should have had another one because as you watch right now, Mike Jack, great pick. Coming away with the football, doing his job down the sideline, got blockers in front of him. This should have been an easy touchdown, Mike Jack. Come on, man.
Listen, rewind this back.
Listen, that's disappointing because, listen, they tell us all the time that we play defense because we don't have hands and we don't have offensive skills. Well, Mike Jack, you're proving them right on this play, buddy. But at this end right here, if you watch this play, boom, great job coming away with the interception. Great job by Lathan Ransom leading block. Then you got Nick Scorton coming down the field, taking the quarterback away. Just stay outside. It's an easy touchdown.
The hash marks, fella.
Mike Jack, this right here says that you don't like nice things. You just don't. You just don't. You saw your teammate get a pick six. You had the opportunity to almost triple the yardage on your pick six that he had, and you just got complacent. You got content with taking the football away, or you wanted you're a great teammate. You wanted the offense to score
you
instead
wanted
of
the
you
running
scoring.
backs to score.
That's what it was. I got you. But you wanted to do your dance. You could have danced longer if you scored the touchdown. So you owe us one on this one, Mike Jack. Great play coming away with the interception, but it should have been a pick six interception for a touchdown. But listen, neither here nor there. This is another huge takeaway because Atlanta was trying to come away with some points at the end of this thing. And I love seeing players, I told you, young players taking advantage of the opportunity. Watch Lathan Ransom right here with the peanut punch, baby, getting that ball out. Listen, you see a lot of players in that situation. They see a guy going down and they get content. It's late in the game, about 30 to 40 seconds left in the game, and to have a rookie come in and preserve the shutout, it just speaks volumes for where this football team is headed and the job, like you talked about early on, that Dan Morgan has been able to do in the draft and in free agency. So shout out to Lathan Ransom, man, taking advantage of the opportunity. 30 seconds, securing the shutout. I don't know if Atlanta would have tried another field goal had they had that opportunity, because they were 0-2 at that point. So you might not have wanted to put your kicker in that situation to take his confidence down even further. So we got to watch these 3 turnovers, but there are 2 other turnovers that took place that you don't see people talk about a lot. Yeah. Whenever a team goes for it on 4th down and you're able to stop them as a defense, that's another turnover because it creates field position, it gives the offense the ball back, and it's a turnover. So right here, you see it's 3rd and 3, 5 seconds left. We have a guy going in motion, but I want to put eyes on this guy right here, man. Like, this kid has been amazing. Student, we talked about this before the show. We've only seen one other player that has had the ability to elevate and continue to go up after he's already jumped off the ground, and that guy was Steve Smith. And to be able to watch T-Mac go out and do anything like Steve Smith used to do is truly a special moment. So as we jump right into this, you'll see simple route at the top, great stem at the top of that route. But look at this 6'5" receiver go up, and look, man, this guy's hip is above this guy's head, man.
Right.
Whenever you get a receiver that goes up and attacks the football in the air like that, what that does for a quarterback, it gives you the confidence in knowing that I can put the ball up in any situation. Yeah. And it's not many guys that can go up with a 6'5" guy and get the ball at the highest point. So that's one of the things that I love about T-Mac. He is not afraid of the moment, and he attacks the football in the air. Look at that, man. That's special. You can't just find that in any receiver. That is a special receiver doing special things that God just didn't bless everybody with the ability to be able to do.
Everybody can be Iron Man out here.
Our first-round receiver has that kind of ability, man, and I'm excited about this kid. Like, I want you guys to just take the time to just really appreciate what we have in T-Mac and his ability to come away with footballs and keep drives going. This is 3rd down, and nothing real special about the top stem of the route because you see the DB, he's still there, but this is almost one of those things like a Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter. When they're on, there's nothing you can do to defend it. And when T-Mac has the opportunity to go up high for a football, it's like one of those moments. There's not much you can do to defend it. And as we watch this play out, coming away with the football, securing it on the way to the ground. And one of the things I also noticed about T-Mac, a lot of these smaller DBs, they struggle tackling him. Oh, yeah. And he's not afraid to be physical. He's going to let you know if he runs you over, he's going to flex on you. And man, I love the confidence that we're seeing out of this young kid. I know we're only 3 games into the season, Stu, but I'm excited to watch what T-Mac is going to bring to the table. And let's go. We're going to take you to right now to the guy that threw him the football. Let's see what Bryce Young has to say.
Feel great. I mean, I'm super proud of this team. Just complete team performance. All 3 phases. Defense, special teams. I mean, they played phenomenal all night. So this is great. We have a 24-hour rule, so I'm happy. And then it's 1 week. So, for now it's great, and then we come back tomorrow. Sorry, I think I knocked over someone's mic. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll watch the film, see what we can, we can replicate, see what we can learn from, and turn the page. But it feels good right now.
Always great to, of course, hear Bryce Young give his team some love. All right, look at this, guys. Largest margin of victory since 2015 was this game against the Falcons. Of course, we had to go since 2015 because what you guys did in 2015.
Yeah.
But this is so impressive. I mean, it's just such an impressive game all the way around, and certainly something as players that you just can feed off of, I'd imagine, guys.
Absolutely. I think, like we just talked about, it shows what you're capable of. It sets the standard. And now, when you go into a game like that against a good football team and you're able to put that kind of performance together, moving forward, it just boosts your confidence up as a football team. And now they have to understand that when you go out, there's no more, oh, well, this is because of this, or maybe he's not ready for this. No, you've shown that you're ready. It's just now, how are you preparing week to week? Like, what are your ways of going out, making sure that you're able to execute the game plan? And that's what I want to see from this team moving forward.
Yeah, there's no excuses anymore, right? That's what that says to me. Offensively, you were able to play a part in this game and win a game that wasn't perfect.
Yep.
You talk about the costly penalties, where it was 3rd and 2, now it's 3rd and 8 or 37. But what we're seeing is guys figuring out how to win football games the hard way on offense, right? A lot of times you think to yourself, man, we have a short field. But just because there's a short field doesn't make it easier. It actually makes it harder, right? As far as what plays you're going to be able to dial up. It's a tighter fit for the quarterback to, find certain throws. And so there's a lot that goes into this game and how they won. They should feel very, very confident going into the next, because there are a lot of things to work on and to get better at.
A lot to be excited about, as you guys said. Of course, we keep an eye on what happened in the NFC South. It was an interesting day in the NFC South yesterday. Bucks, the Jets almost come back and win it, guys, but unfortunately for the Panthers and Panthers fans, just couldn't get it to happen. And then you look at the Saints, they lose 13-44, guys. Those games they were wild.
Rough.
Listen,
Love to see it.
The Saints have been a team that we knew that they were going to struggle coming into the season, but they, in the first 2 weeks, to me, they outperformed. They did what I thought that they were going to be capable of doing as a football team. But yesterday, they just kind of went back to who I expected them to be against the Seattle Seahawks. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are a football team now. What is their identity? Who are they going to be? We look at the way that we were able to go out and dominate this Atlanta team, and they struggled against them. Atlanta should have won that game when they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home the first week. But I think now, as a team, you look at those standings, and you look at the way that Tampa played Atlanta, and then you look at, and we do this as players all the time. It shouldn't be a thing on how somebody else plays somebody else, but we do that all the time. Where if they can beat them, then we can beat them like this. And that's one of the things that I feel like we do, but it's a confidence booster.
Yeah.
Like, that if a team goes out and beats a team that you lost to by 1,000,000 points, then you're going to go into it like, dang, like they got to be pretty good, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, when you watch a team struggle against a team that you beat, then it's like, dang, but we should smoke them the same way. We should beat them the same way that we beat that team. And it just doesn't play out like that. But I know for a fact, especially with us having young players on this team, that's the mindset and the thought process they're going to have. And I don't want to change that. I want them to feel like they can go out and win every game that we have left on our schedule.
I never realized that that's how the players approach it. So that's really cool to hear and get that insight. All right, we are going to have you guys pick the Monday night matchup every single week. Stu, I want to start with you first as we look at Lions at Ravens, because you were bragging just a few minutes ago that you got 11 out of 14 right yesterday on Sunday making your picks. So, okay, who's going to win this one?
Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he is a different character that the Baltimore Ravens defense is going to have troubles with. So.
Okay. All right. TD, do you agree?
No, not at all. Jahmyr Gibbs has kind of stumbled out of the blocks to start the season. He hasn't had that much production, not like as expected. You know, he's a dual threat. He's a guy that can do both things. You can hand it to him out of the backfield. You could throw it to him a lot like we used to use Christian McCaffrey. But the Baltimore Ravens are a football team. They're playing at home, and I just feel like with them playing at home, that's going to be the difference maker. Having Lamar Jackson, having Derrick Henry in that backfield, and a defense that is traditionally always productive. You know, I just feel like on the back end, they have a lot of skill players that can get a lot of things done, and they match up well against this Detroit Lions football team. And it's gonna be a
Detroit Lions defense is healthy.
I would encourage you guys to take the over in this game because it's gonna be a lot of points scored.
You think it's gonna be a lot of points?
Absolutely, it's gonna be a lot of points scored. But at the end of the day, the Ravens are going to score more points than them.
Man,
and
look,
you know what that
defense is healthy.
You know what that equals to in NFL football? More points.
Amon St. Brown
equals a win.
All right, we are going to see who wins those bragging rights tonight. We'll see which one of you is correct.
I'm going to call you, too.
Yeah.
You ain't going to call me once y'all lose, though.
I'm going to call you.
We'll see.
I love it. If you're an NFL player, you are competitive about everything, including who's going to win the Monday night matchup. All right, stick with us all this week. On Wednesday, we got The Avenue with me and Trey Boston. On Fridays, of course, you're going to see me and TD on the Panthers Huddle. And then, of course, we've got the post-game show every single Monday. Guys, I want to ask you, just as we look at what's ahead for these players? How do you take this confidence and get ready to go back on the road? Because, TD, we started out this show with you saying there's no place like home. So how do you go out on the road after you start out 0-2 and take this confidence and build on it versus the Patriots?
Listen, you're playing against a Patriots team that's also struggling, that has stumbled out of the blocks as well. But you go into it with the mindset of we got to win our games that we control. And what you control is what you play next. And it's 1 week at a time. The 24-hour rule applies to wins and losses. So if you lose a football game, you got 24 hours, you think about it, you think about what you could have done differently, and you move on to the next game. When you win a football game, you can't sit and think that, oh, we won this game. You can look at a lot of the things that you did well and you can execute in that way moving forward, but you can't sit back and harp on it and think that, oh, we won 30-0. Well, we can carry these points over to the next game and we'll win that one too, and it just doesn't work like that. You hear people talking about the success Atlanta had coming into this game the week before, 5 for 5 from the kicker. That's one of the things that stood out.
True.
He went 0-2 in this game. Then you look at the fact that the D-line got after the quarterback, 6 sacks. They couldn't carry those sacks over to this game. I think they came away with 1 in this game. And I think that players have to understand week to week is going to be different. And you got to figure out a way to get yourself going, get yourself ready to execute another week as you've shown that you can do the previous week. And that's what this team has really been looking to try to become, and that is consistent. You got to create consistent play week in and week out, and that's how you become a good football team and work your way to becoming a great football team.
Mm-hmm. I would just say, piggyback off of him, preparation, right? I know a coach named Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron. Control your 8, your attitude, your preparation, your effort, right? And so whatever that was for this past week that got you the most prepared team, and that's Atlanta Falcon game, the division game, you carry that over into the Patriot week, right? And it's still control your inner ape. You go into your recovery with that mindset. You go into study, your film study, your nutrition, your practice, your habits. Everything has to be aligned and attuned because this was a winning product. So trust it.
One of the things that I feel like this team did well, KB, was defensively we stopped the run against a very dynamic running back. And you forced their hand, you made them one-dimensional, and we always talk about you want to make a team one-dimensional. You don't want to allow the team to come out and have balance against you. And that was one of the things that we were able to do. So once you're able to do that, it allows you to do so many other things defensively. You can get exotic with your blitzes on 3rd and long. You can create looks that the quarterback may not be necessarily ready for. And offensively, I feel like we were able to control the tempo of the game. And Stu talked about it, playing on time. Like the game, we watched the game against Arizona, and you see how we're running into situations where we got to call timeout, or you having delay of games, or now guys are not understanding the sense of urgency, the tempo that needs to take place. And you didn't see that in this football game. And that's very encouraging to see a team struggle with something one week and then come back the next week and correct all of those situations. And that just speaks growth that we have as a football team, as an organization. But also, I feel like these players are committed to winning football games. And to me, to be able to have this kind of improvement from week 1, week 2, and now in week 3, definitely the sky's the limit for this bunch.
It's just like Stu said, to start the show off. It's not just the win, it's the way they won. Guys, this has been great. Stu, TD, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for watching on this Victory Monday. Hope everyone has a great day. Stick with us all week.